I just wanted to give a little bit of background information on why I created Wisconsin Wear Clothing Company. I am an official Wisconsinite. I was raised and bred in Racine. Had a passionate love affair with Racine for Kringle, Sicilian hand-tossed pizza, Bratwurst, beautiful summer days on the lake, running around, just being in love with my city. I had such a love affair with my city that I didn't even want to leave for family trips. My childhood was filled with a lot of love for Racine. I graduated from Washington Park High School. Went on to college in the South, and this is where I first noticed that in other places, people really have clothing that represents where they're from. That's something that we didn't have. Okay, we had sports apparel, Bucks, Packers, Brewers, and Badgers, which is fine. Those are all Wisconsin teams, but I wanted something that really represented where I'm from, at the time, and I was living in Racine. So I took notice to that. After a couple years down there, I came back home and I attended the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, which is I reside in Milwaukee currently. At that time, I noticed that the pride for the city was still there. However, it still wasn't really being shown. People really weren't wearing a lot of Wisconsin apparel outside of the sports teams. At that time, moving back to Milwaukee, I found that there were more like novelty type shirts, cheesehead and beer shirts, but nothing that just says I'm from here and I'm just a resident, and I just want to represent where I'm from. Okay. After school, I did a bit of traveling. I lived in Michigan for a while. I lived in the South again, and I lived in California ultimately. While living in Michigan, I came across a clothing company there called Made in Detroit. Made in Detroit showed a great deal of Detroit pride. I found that fascinating, how so many people in Detroit, regardless of how they felt about the city, still supported their city through their clothing. I felt that was a real beautiful thing. After living in Detroit and ultimately ending up in California, California taught me a very valuable lesson. California taught me that it's the pride that tells the story. California, we all know, is the movie capital of the world. We all know that there's a lot of beauty there, from the beaches, the sunny weather, and all the things that come along with Hollywood. But ultimately, what I saw and what I learned about California is that the people of the state and of the city were just very prideful. Whether it was Long Beach, Carson, Los Angeles, San Francisco, if you lived in a city in California, you were proud to be from there. And I had a lot of respect for that. After learning that valuable lesson in California, I felt like it was time for me to come home. I was ready, I had learned. I came home with the framework for Wisconsin Wear Clothing Company. And I have essentially been working on it since, and now we're up and running. What Wisconsin Clothing Wear means to me is this is a movement. This isn't a clothing line. This is something put in place that can show your pride, your honor, your respect for where you're from. We design clothes for cities throughout the state, as well as just state material. This is designed to promote pride for anybody from Wisconsin, or anybody that would even visit Wisconsin. We're here to stand up this is a movement that I want you to join. I want all of us to stand tall, stick our chest out, and be proud Wisconsinites, just like I am. When we go someplace, whether it's just to the store, people should know that you're proud to be from here. If we go to New York, people should know you're proud to be from Wisconsin. I just happen to be in New York right now. So this movement has started, and I want you to be a part of this movement. And we're available. You can find us online at www.wisconsinwearclothingcompany.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Pinterest, any of the social media sites. Check us out. We're always posting images of beautiful things throughout the state. Or also posting new clothing as well. So, bear in mind that this is a movement, and we're here to bring back the pride. The pride that I had as a child growing up in Racine. I want that back for the entire state.